Well, I just wanted to kind of tell how I came across cervical dystonia, and for a while, for a couple of years before it really happened, I'd been really fit and would work out a lot, and I was a lot of people when they work out they get into the habit of moving their neck to the side and to the other side to kind of loosen up the neck muscles because they tighten up when they're working out. So I would do that, and I didn't think much about it. But around August or September of last year, I was seeing that I was doing that much more often, and I was doing this kind of movement, but not to the other side. And I kind of figured it was part of the whole just loosening up my neck muscles. But after a while, it started to feel like a really stiff neck that wouldn't go away. And so what I decided to do was go to a chiropractor, what I'd done in the past with when my neck would get stiff from lifting weights. And so the chiropractor just said, okay, fine, didn't look much at it, and I told him, have a stiff neck, and so that chiropractor did an adjustment on me, and I continued to feel a stiff neck, and over the next week or two of seeing that person every few days, it got worse. And it got to the point where I started to feel dizzy. And I figured that there was something really going on. And so I decided that, well, I need to see a specialist. This is more serious than just a stiff neck. So in my mind, I thought, well, an orthopod would make sense. And I went to see an orthopod. We did the x-rays, and he wasn't very personable, didn't take a whole lot of time with me, and said, well, it's degenerative disc disease. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and when we were looking at the x-rays together, we saw that my neck, and at this time it was tilting this way. It wasn't, it was a tilt that you could see in the x-rays. Your neck's even tilting, that's a habit. But I constantly was telling him throughout the diagnosis on that same day that it wasn't a habit, but he was satisfied with his diagnosis. He said, you're going to go to physical therapy, we're going to get you better. And that was it. So I kind of walked out of there not feeling really like he had listened to me, and I'm still thinking, well, how does that make my neck tilt? So I went to physical therapy for a couple of months and went back to see the same orthopod. And what he had also done is told me to go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, because I told him that I was feeling dizzy. The ear, nose, and throat doctor just did a real cursory review of me, looked at my ears, looked up my nose, and he said, well, you're getting dizzy because your neck is tight. I said, do you think that'll go away when I went through physical therapy? He said, yeah. But it was the same type of thing where they weren't very personable, didn't take a whole lot of time, and it was just a really shallow review. I also went to a general practitioner on that same day because the orthopod wanted me to make sure that my breathing was fine. That weekend before I saw the orthopod, my neck was really starting to tighten, and it felt like it was tilting, and I had to fight against it, and even when I would eat and swallow, I felt pressure against my trachea. And so that scared me, and that's why I went to the GP, and she, again, just looked at me. I blew into a device that shows how strong my breath is, and she said, you're fine. And so now I'm going to physical therapy for a number of weeks, and it's getting worse. And I'm looking in the mirror, day after day, and my head is still tilting. And it's what got me was that it was just constantly tilted. And so being frustrated and having those hopes that we were taking care of the situations dashed because I wasn't seeing any improvement, and I started to feel pain in those muscles and then throughout my entire neck. I finally just said, okay, I got to figure this out for myself, and I went to UCLA Biomedical Research Library and just started with my symptoms and went from there. And I came across the word torticollis, and online I had actually seen someone's story that dealt with that, but it wasn't tilted like mine was. It was twisted all the way to the side, and so I wasn't sure if that was the same thing. But I came across dystonia, and that seemed to make sense to me. And that same afternoon, I had gone online to Spasmodic Torticollis Association. I gave them a call and I said I need a neurologist in the Pasadena area, and they gave me Dr. Lisk's number. I came to see him about a week and a half later, and he was great because every other doctor that had seen me really wasn't paying attention to me. And I just asked him, can I tell you my story? Because nobody seems to be listening to me. And he said, sure, go ahead. And as a matter of fact, I think it was on a Wednesday, he was supposed to leave, but he was really nice enough to stay around and see me because I was scared, I wasn't sure what was going on. So he listened to my story, and he says, I think it's dystonia. Let's get a CT scan of your neck and your brain just to make sure that there aren't any surprises. And everything checked out fine, there were no issues. And when I came in to see him, he said, well, the best way to go are Botox injections, and I think we should proceed with that. So Dr. Lisk had decided that we should proceed with botulinum toxin injections into my neck so that the muscles that were tight could relax and could bring my neck back to its normal neutral position. So over the next couple of months, we needed to figure out exactly which muscles were tight and which weren't. And a lot of it, and he was great throughout this whole process, he knew exactly what to look for, and since there are so many small muscles in the neck, and the neck is tilting a certain way, and you need to figure out which muscles are the major players, Dr. Lisk was, we went through the process of finding out which ones were the major players, and he hit the exact ones over the next couple of months. And it's been about 3 months since I've been pretty normal. I've received about four series of injections into my neck, and as of now I feel great. I even got to the point where I started going back to the gym again. I don't do anything per Dr. Lisk's orders. I'm not doing anything above the neck, and I'm being very careful, but I'm living life like I was before, and I owe it all to him. He's been great. When I had first come in to see him, I was really scared, and I wasn't sure what it was. After we got the scans of the neck and the head, we understood that it wasn't anything serious like a tumor or anything like that, which I was thankful for. But because I had no doctor had really focused on me, on my situation, I kind of felt like it was really impersonal, and all the pain that I was going through, nobody else could feel it. But when I talked to Dr. Lisk, he really took the time to help me with my situation, and when I came in to see him, I had really started crashing into a pretty severe depression. And I did get help with that from other types of doctors that deal with that, with psychologists and general practitioner who Dr. Lisk had recommended. But the main reason why I was so depressed was because I had this issue. I felt that being in so much discomfort and so much pain, that my life as I had known it was over, that I'd never be able to be active again. It got so uncomfortable at some points that I wasn't able to sit up normally, and even just sitting up like this was I remember having to sit up, and when I was eating, I would be almost out of breath because it hurt, and it was so distracting. Driving in the car was really uncomfortable because it was just always there, and I couldn't. People would tell me to shell it, not worry about it, and just, we'll go through this and we'll get this taken care of. But it was so ever present, and I couldn't get rid of it. And only when I would lie down and be on my back would it go away. And it got so bad, I got really severely depressed. And so what helped bring me out of that depression, along with other help of other doctors, was Dr. Lisk solving the problem that I had, and doing it in a way that, not only did the injections help me physically, but just the way that he treated me like a person. He understood what I was going through emotionally, but also he just really focused on what the issue was, and it was getting my neck straight. And I'm very thankful to him for doing that, and I think he's great. I would recommend him to anybody.